In this video, we have x squared divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by x squared, and we are required to solve for x. What I'm going to do at this point will be to first cross multiply. So we're going to have x squared times x squared, giving us x raised to power 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 25 times 25. So we have 25 raised to power 2. Then I'm going to transfer all of this to the left hand side so that I have x raised to power 2 raised to power 2 minus 25 raised to power 2 is equal to 0. If we see x squared as a single variable, we are going to be saying difference of two squares with this expression. And to factorize difference of two squares, given a raised to power 2 minus b raised to power 2, this will give us a minus b times a plus b. Therefore, this equation becomes x squared minus 25 into bracket x squared plus 25. Then this is equal to 0, so we say equal to 0. Here I can express 25 as 5 squared, so I have x raised to power 2 minus 5 raised to power 2 into x raised to power 2 plus 5 raised to power 2 is equal to 0. And then we can say either x squared minus 5 squared is equal to 0, or x squared plus 5 squared is equal to 0. For the first part, which is this one, we have x squared minus 5 squared is equal to 0. This is still difference of two squares, and we use the factorization from earlier to factorize further. So we have x minus 5, x plus 5 is equal to 0. This means x plus 5, x minus 5 is equal to 0, or x plus 5 is equal to 0. From the first part, we say x is equal to 5, and from the second part, we say x is equal to minus 5. These are the first two solutions to this problem. Let's call this x1 and call this x2. Now let's go back to the second situation, which was x squared plus 5 squared is equal to 0. For this second case, x squared plus 5 squared is 0. I'm going to subtract 5 squared from both sides. This will then give us x squared is equal to negative 5 squared. Now let's take the square root of both sides. And when we do that, we need to include plus or minus. Therefore, x is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 5 raised to power 2. This is same thing as saying x is equal to plus or minus square root of negative 1 times 5 raised to power 2. We can separate this product by sorts to give us x is equal to plus or minus square root of negative 1 times square root of 5 squared, and then x is equal to plus or minus square root of minus 1 is I, and then this cancels this to give us 5. And we can rewrite this as x is equal to plus or minus 5i. So in here we also have two solutions, which will be x3 now is equal to negative 5i, and x4 is equal to 5i. So these two solutions are complex solutions. Let us now check each of these values and see which one of them balances our equation. Our equation, we were given x raised to power 2 over 25 is equal to 25 over x squared. Let's start with this first value. When x is 5, putting 5 in place of x, we have 5 raised to power 2 divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 5 raised to power 2. 5 squared is 25, giving us 25 divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 5 squared, which is 25. And 25 divided by 25 is 1. 25 divided by 25 is 1. So for the first case, left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Hence, x is equal to 5 is correct and acceptable. When x is negative 5, we have x squared divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by x squared. So we have minus 5 raised to power 2 divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by negative 5 raised to power 2. Negative 5 raised to power 2 is 25, and divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 25. Since 25 divided by 25 is still 1, 25 divided by 25 is also 1. Left hand side is equal to the right hand side. It confirms that this solution is also correct and acceptable. Now when x, which is x3 in this case, is negative 5i, let us substitute into x squared. So this would be negative 5i raised to power 2 divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by negative 5i squared. So we break this down into negative 5 squared times I squared divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by everything here, negative 5 squared times I squared. Now negative 5 squared is 25, so we have 25, and then I squared is negative 1, then divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 25 times I squared is -1. So this gives us -25 divided by 25 is equals to 25 divided by -25. This will give us -1. This will give us -1. Either way, left hand side is still equal to the right hand side. Hence, this value of x is also correct and acceptable. And finally, when x is 5i, that's x4, then we have 5i squared divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 5i squared. So this is 5 squared times I squared divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 5 squared times I squared. So 5 squared is 25, I squared is -1, and divided by 25 is equal to 25 divided by 25 times -1. -25 times -1 here will give us -25, then divided by 25 is equal to 25, then divided by -25. If we divide this by this, we get -1. Also, here gives us -1. And either way, the left hand side still balances the right hand side. Hence, the fourth value of x is also correct and acceptable. So all 4 solutions of this problem are eventually correct and acceptable. If you have enjoyed this solution, please like and share, and remember to also subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. See you in my next video.